Well, it is May 22nd, and we are starting first cut. So we got dump wagons on, and we actually have the almost identical to that one that we built last year, right here. So this right here is another Richington 700 single axle, but this one we bought already set up. It came out of, I want to say Malone. It's actually one of you guys' subscribers here that were watching. They watched us build that, and we got he is related to someone in our area, and they got in contact with us if we wanted to buy that. It was like a couple $1,000s. It was like, I think $500 more than we bought that frame for. So we got a whole dump wagon set up. We could not say no to that. So we got that last October. I guess I've just never shown it. We had to put the dump piston back on, that was it. We gotta put a thicker pin in this, Phillips grabbing, and we'll be good to go. I had a little bit of change of scenery on what I'm driving from when I started this video. I didn't even make it.
All right, over there, Marcus.
I didn't even make it one load with the other dump wagon and the one that we bought. It didn't dump the first time we cycled the pistons, but the second load it started leaking out of a crack. So I had to switch with
surroundings there when you back out.
I had to switch with Stanley, who's driving the MX now, so I could go fix this, and I had to go work on the rake. An arm fell off, so I had to take a spare one. And I just forgot the camera at the shop and didn't record anything fixing the rake or record fixing this, even though I had the camera. I just forgot about it. But we're over here at, this is on Mineral Brook Road. A lot of grass here. Well, we got a minute, so we'll go look. Oh, never mind. Alex just showed up. I was gonna go look at some corn, because this, well, wasn't one of the first stuff we planted, but it was very early compared to how far we're into planting now. But I gotta go dump my load. Yes, the windows are dirty. This thing just got pulled off the disc, and then the windows never even got cleaned after spreading manure, because it's just one job to the next right now. And yeah, it doesn't take long to clean them, but it just didn't happen. So Alex got her floaters put on. She's all happy. She does not want to get stuck. I'll line the rest up myself. So the other dump wagon sits 6 to 8 inches higher than this one. Could be more, I'm not exactly sure, I haven't measured it yet. But the other one, with it fully dumped, I can drive over the back sideboard with it dumped, and I can like level out my dump wagon load on the trailers. So what we're gonna do with this one is we're gonna raise it however much the other one is, so that they're the same. That was lucky. I put an 18th gear accidentally there. So we're gonna raise it, and you're gonna be like, why didn't you do it? You had all winter long. We did not have time for that kind of stuff. And yeah, so we'll do it probably before second cut, and have some other plans and changes I want to do. Oh boy, someone's gonna freak out I'm driving over the roads. But for now, it works good, and we're glad it's another single axle. So much easier than the front steering 2-axle dump wagons. They get the job done, and we use them for years, but it does suck. And they don't float as good as these. This thing floats over water and all the wet holes a lot better. But it's still a big grass field because it's a huge cornfield here. Just the grass field does the perimeter, and a couple of the wet holes that are back here that would really suck his corn. Where this hill stops and it gets flat, I couldn't spread manure anymore when we were doing the cornfield because it was just soaking wet. Well, we took a stroll to the middle of the cornfield, so that way it's in just the middle somewhere, and we'll show you where the row shutoff kind of worked. So when we did that, we just ran, and Eric set the computer to some parameters that were pretty common, and then we had to, like, I'd say fine tune it, but we kind of just did like a handful of up and downs with the planter empty, saw where the row units were turning on and off, and changed the time sensitivity, because all it is how many seconds after the GPS crosses a previous planted line to where it kicks on and off. So it's just in seconds, so consistent speed does affect it when he's coming in and out of the endpoints. But right here, he planted this way, and the last corn's here. Now I don't know if he's going in or out here, but I'm gonna say it's like that all the way across. Now there's a couple that are, you'll see one right there, but you know, if he's coming in or out at a different speed, or if a kernel's falling down still, because this more looks like there was a kernel in the tube, because there's nothing here, and that was why that was here, because there's not another one over here. So I'm gonna say for our first time ever setting a planter for that, and with Eric's help in the beginning too, I can't complain. It's either 4 or 5 inches right before, or like over here it's like 2 inches after, but there's nothing else there. And when he's planting in sideways like that, because they're all coming in sideways, normally if it's 12 rows, he'd be here, and then 30 feet over, he'd be like 3 rows in planting corn. And Christoph noticed about 100 acres in, just how much less seed he's already using. It almost worried him because he thought we weren't putting enough corn in the ground. But the planter's set to the population that we want for this year, and yeah, it's just using that much less seed because we're not planting where we don't need to. And the singulation, and that's the spacing between kernels, is looking 10 times better than our old planter. Now you'll see where there's nothing, and if you actually dig a little bit, the ore, it's just barely popping out of the ground. So they're just late coming out, or like this guy. It looks like nothing on camera when you're walking by, but she's just down there popping out of the ground. And it's like that everywhere, is where you don't think there's a corn seed. You think the singulation's bad. There's 2 more right there. It's actually just a late bloomer, and you'll have that. Now we're waiting for a truck to come. We got Kyle driving, Alex is driving her trailer, and Philip's driving. We're only running 1 trailer. We'd like to be running 2, but I kind of was busy fixing stuff, and I can't run the other trailer, and Ferdy is mowing. So we'll make do with what we can. But the truck should be here pretty soon, because they're not too far behind, but it gave me a little bit of time to go walk down there. Stanley's dumping his load into Philip there. He's running the Freightliner today because the White Western Star is still on the diller. If we don't have to, we're gonna just leave it on the manure tank. That way, if we magically have dry enough conditions on some of the grass fields, it can just go straight to field spreading. Otherwise, it'll be ready to bring manure to the tractors in the fields because it's already got the nurse boom on it. But hopefully, we have a little bit of a dry section for chopping in here, and we can get all the field spread. But the way spring's been, it's going to be rough. Well, at least we're both running nicer dump wagons now, so it'll be nice. It's definitely already better today. And these fields that we're chopping today are all going to the new farm here, because we gotta move some feed out of the bunk still at the home farm to get that bunk fully emptied out. We're gonna bring some of that grass. We cut the bunk in half and get up to the front of the bunk, and we are leaving the stuff that we gotta move. The stuff we left that we're now gonna move is going up to the heifer barn, because that's the grass that got flooded, and the cows definitely didn't love it, and they weren't milking as good. And we're almost out of the decent grass, and we're gonna hit back into that coming back from the other way. So we're gonna move that feed this week once we get the fields done for this farm. He actually stopped mowing. He wasn't continuing mowing there, so he's pulling the other trailer now. I don't think I got close enough. I messed up. I don't think I got close enough still, but it'll work. And that is why I just love the single axle, because you can actually move it on the trailers and get fully empty and top off the truck.